Hello and welcome. I am Jennifer Geisler and this is a new episode of Cisco Vibe Extra, live from Cisco Live World of Solutions floor. Joining me for this discussion is Mark Lohmeyer. He is the Vice President of Marketing for the Services Routing Technology Group, and he has some news for us today. So welcome, Mark, it's good to have you.
Thanks, Jennifer, great to be here.
So what I want to talk to you about is, we've been talking a lot about data center and all that, but there's this whole other end of it called the branch.
Yes.
And contrary to popular belief, I think this belief started 20 years ago, branches are not going away. We have tons of branches, right?
Absolutely,
So what's going on? What are they facing, the challenges?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, as I've talked to customers over the last few years and actually had a number of really good meetings here at Cisco Live, you know, there's a sort of a common trend or theme that's emerging, which is, you know, they're really kind of between a rock and a hard place. On one side, they really want to deliver a great user experience for the people in their company, and that's the way they want to drive productivity. But on the other hand, they're being asked to reduce cost and sort of operate more efficiently. And you know, that's getting harder and harder to strike the right balance between those two things as technologies like virtualization, bring your own device, cloud make it much harder to strike the right balance there.
Okay, so you're in the Services Routing Technology Group, so I've got to, since you've listened to customers, I've got to figure out that you're trying to solve the problem for them. So what are you doing to help solve that problem for our customers?
Yeah, so you know, we have this sort of mantra, which is simplicity through integration, right? And customers' environments today are very complex, you know, particularly in the branch. And one thing we've kind of strived to do is help to simplify those environments. And one of the key ways that we do this is through integration of services onto the router. So in the past, where you might have had sort of a routing network infrastructure, you had a different set of appliances, different servers, services, we'd bring all those capabilities together onto a single platform, the ISR G2, and that really helps drive down the cost of ownership for our customers. Okay,
so we now know what the acronym ISR stands for, Integrated Services Router.
Absolutely.
G Generation 2.
Yes.
So do you want to explain the G2 portion?
Sure. So G2 is a new release. We came out with the product about a year and a half ago. And really the focus for that release was around integrating more services onto the platform and also making those services be able to be delivered on demand. And this is really a key value for our customers, because if you think about a branch environment for one of these guys, you know, they might have 10 or 100 or 1,000 branches, and so it's very expensive for them to go out and physically touch each of those branches to deploy new hardware, new services. And so with our services on demand capability, we can enable them to deploy the hardware once, and then over time easily add on services just by installing new software onto that hardware without having to physically go out and touch each of those branches. So it's a really powerful capability, and also helps them drive down cost. Okay,
well, and I've been doing quite a few interviews, and almost in every single interview, the word cloud, the word virtualization pops up. So does the ISR have a role within the whole virtualization cloud movement?
Yeah, you know, absolutely. So, you know, we sort of took our cue here from the UCS team within Cisco.
Okay.
And if you look at what they're doing in the data center around unifying computing and networking, leveraging virtualization as a key technology to bring those things together, we basically sort of took that approach and that architecture and we brought it into the ISR G2 to enable that same value proposition in branch environments. So in the ISR G2, we have a new capability called UCS Express. You can think about it as a mini version of UCS. And it's basically a compute blade that plugs into the router. We then layer VMware virtualization on top, and this enables our customers to consolidate all sorts of applications and services onto that routing platform very easily.
Oh, interesting. And I like how you guys named it, because you named it UCS Express, so it ties back to the UCS platform.
Exactly.
No, one of the common things I'm hearing a lot about, especially when I talk to VPs on the product side, is about focusing more on the user experience, like we did with Cisco Prime, for example, all about from the user experience. So from your standpoint, what is it from a user experience standpoint that you're striving for? Yeah,
so you know, if you think about the user experience in the branch, it really kind of ties back to the application experience. If you think about kind of what matters to someone in the branch, it's, hey, can I get access to my applications? How responsive are they? And so it's all sort of related to the application. And as those applications are delivered kind of remotely from either the corporate data center or increasingly from the cloud, We've placed a lot of focus on how do we make sure those applications are delivering performance to the user, as well as how do we make sure they're highly available. So if you think about a user, they have the expectation that application is never going to go down, right? I expect to be able to get access to my email 100% of the time. And yeah, there may be things that happen in the networking infrastructure, but that cause certain pieces of that to go down for brief periods of time. But from a user perspective, they expect the application to remain up and available. So we've done some really interesting things in the ISR G2 to enable service availability, things like leveraging a 3G or 4G wireless link for backup across the WAN. So if your primary link goes down, you can leverage 3G or 4G to keep the service up for the user.
Oh, excellent. From a user standpoint, I love what you're saying.
Yeah, they never know.
So Mark, I'll let you get back to your customers. Appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, great to be here.
Yeah, so for Vibe Extra, I'm Jennifer Geisler, signing off with Mark Lohmeyer, who's showing us how we can put more in the integrated service router to make it easier for branch deployments and increase that user experience. Thanks for watching.